Mic'd up.
Welcome, everybody, to Mic'd Up from the PGA Tour. This week, it's the 3M Open at the Twin Cities TPC from Blaine, Minnesota. I'm John Reger, your Mic'd Up PGA broadcaster, and your host of this episode called WildBill's Golf Weather Report, coming to you from our Mic'd Up studio in St. Augustine, Florida, and the Backyard Golf Association headquarters in Gainesville, Florida. Hey, not only will we hear about the weather forecasts, which always plays an integral part of the outcome, we will also include some banter about some of the special things surrounding this event that sometimes are posted notes on the locker room wall at TPC Twin Cities. Now it's time for Wild Bill Chereau for his take on this week's weather report from the 3M Open.
Woohoo! And a great big hello there, Coach. I just hightailed it back from across the pond just in time to follow the PGA Tour as it continues to trek across the Rust Belt into the great state of Minnesota. Now, before I move on, I am willing to bet there are a lot of people out there that may not have been to Minnesota. Heck, I mean, some of them might even think Minnesota might be a foreign country, in Canada or something. So, here are some interesting fun facts about Minnesota, or the land of 10,000 lakes. For starters, there's actually 11,842 lakes. Okay, so they said 10,000 lakes because it's a cool thing, but it's actually 11,842. The North Star State, the motto, is filled with many unique geographical anomalies. Okay, Minnesota is the birthplace of the Mississippi River. Haha, the Itasca Lake State Park is the home of the Lake Itasca. The main source of where the Mississippi River starts out and originates is a little bitty clear stream that you can actually step over, believe it or not, the great Mississippi. Minnesota has also got a shoreline that beats out the ocean states of California, Florida, and Hawaii combined. More shoreline than all three of those states. Here's another interesting state.
You mean to tell me that, because, Florida's got 1,000 miles of beaches.
That's right.
And all that. But you mean to tell me that
Minnesota beats it out. Well, you got to remember,
how many lakes there are in Minnesota?
All those lakes, all those shorelines. 11,000. What did I say? 11,842 lakes. That's a lot of shoreline. Plus, there's one of the Great Lakes in there too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of shoreline. Water only flows out of the state of Minnesota, never in. That's because the topography is so high in Minnesota, everything only flows downhill out of the state, north to the Hudson Bay, east to the Atlantic, and south to the Gulf of Mexico, but never in. The only way water gets into Minnesota is precipitation, okay? Minnesota is the home state of the first successful heart surgery. That means everybody before the state of Minnesota, done. They didn't make it, all right? Minnesota has not only spawned such world-renowned inventions such as rollerblades, okay, those ankle killers. The famous Post-it note came from Minnesota, but many more inventions to include Scotch tape, the pop-up toaster, the bunt pan for all you cookers out there, and the frozen pizza, just to name a few. Now, here's an interesting fun fact. Minnesota is the home of the quietest place on earth. A place that is so quiet, they say you can hear your own heartbeat and your own digestive system. Now, I'm not sure that I need a quiet place on the planet to hear my digestive system because I can hear it pretty much all the time and anywhere. So I don't need that place for that. Now,
especially after a visit to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. There we go. Everybody will hear that in the next state too. All right. Now, Minnesota is known for its moose, its hockey, and especially now it's golf, which brings us to this week's Wild Bill's Weather Golf Report as it follows the PGA Tour to Blaine, Minnesota, as the TPC Twin Cities host the 3M Open. Okay, now the 3M Open recently upgraded to the PGA regular tour event in 2019 after serving as the 3M Championship for the PGA Tour of Champions from 93 to 2018. Remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
So it went up through a revolution up to the regular PGA Tour event in 2019. And since then, they've never had the same player win the 3 Open more than once. Okay, so there's a double timer waiting to come, right?
I'm hearing that Scotty Scheffler's playing for the first time.
There you go.
This is not a signature event either. I know there's only 3 events left till the FedEx playoffs, but he's playing in this. That's a pretty big deal.
Yep, that could be a big deal, and it could be a first time for him too. They say it's the home of first timers, so we'll see how long that lasts. All right. Originally designed by Arnold Palmer and Tom Lehman, TPC Twin Cities was built on a former sod farm. It used to be a sod farm, so there's not a lot of elevation changes. It's pretty flat, okay? It did go through a championship reconfiguration prior to its inauguration into the PGA Tour, converting it into a 7,431-yard par 71 championship layout featuring 74 deep sand bunkers and housing 27 distinct bodies of water that come into play on 15 out of the 18 holes. That's a lot of water and a lot of shoreline. There's some of your miles there, John.
Well, last week we talked about how the sheep formed the bunkers at the Open Championship, but I think they used a big John Deere tractor from just down the road there in Iowa to make those bunkers.
Probably. Now, the TPC Twin Cities presents some very unique features that, in combination with the weather, significantly influences how one plays this course. A course that defends on itself in three major ways. The first one is the water, obviously. Okay, it's a water hazard nightmare. The course is oozing water between all its bunkers. Okay, this course is an amateur, terrorizing dream of a watery nightmare.
Oozing water, isn't that a term for like oil or something, or
No,
something that comes out of your pimple? Oozing water. Oh my goodness.
well, there's just water everywhere. Okay, you got to really precisely hit this place at this place. Okay, it's a professional player's precision testing ground. As I said, 27 distinct bodies of water that come into play on 15 out of 18 holes. This course routinely averages among the highest in water ball penalties on the entire PGA Tour. The altitude is this course's second defense. This course is 1,000 feet above sea level. Got to remember, a lot of golfers live down in Florida. Okay, so that's a big altitude change. All right, so the ball flight's 2% longer. It makes this long 7,400-yard course seem maybe shorter for the heavy hitters. It might entice them to go for the soft greens and go for a target shot. But you got to be careful, man. All this rain up there has made those bunkers very, very, very thick. Okay. It's been a little dry. The ball's going to roll. It's going to roll into those heavy bunkers. They've gotten a lot of rain recently.
Wild Bill, I heard that the weather's just going to be really boring up there. Is that true? There's no
Yeah, it's going to be
tornadoes
pretty.
coming or hurricanes or
I'm hoping
cold
for
front, snow.
some meteorological anomaly, but it looks like it's going to be pretty boring. But it is going to be hot. Okay. The greens at TPC are traditionally kept soft. Okay, so the players tend to hunt for those pins. They're predicted it could be 20 under par. But if there's a lot of wind, you got to remember the winds come up in the afternoon, so the early players are going to have a lot better advantage. Okay, the late players may be chasing after an early player and maybe take on some remarkable challenges in all these winds. The course is built on an open terrain. There's minimal elevation changes, hardly any blocking of heavy trees. Any spike in the late afternoon strong summer wind gusts can completely alter the ball control off the tee, and it may turn a birdie opportunity into an immediately waterlogged bunker bogey, a waterlogged double, or even a sandy bogey attempt that try to flies past the pin for a drink for a triple. So the winds are going to play a lot this year in the afternoon. So the early players are going to have an advantage, but they're going to get flip flop because the better players are going to be put towards the end in the winds. So it's going to be a very interesting way to see how this plays out due to the winds, the length, and the difficulty, and the target to stay out of the roughs. So heavy rains are going to soften the greens.
This place sounds like it's going to be really soupy, with wetness and stuff. You want to wear your golf sandals with waterproof socks at this event, probably.
Well, I don't know. See, that's where this comes into play. Okay, let me see where we're at. Heat and that's the big thing. Okay, heat and humidity. All right. So a lot of these players, especially coming from Scotland and England, where the temperatures were cool, we're going to start off this week, in the into the low 80s and end up into the mid to high 90s. Okay, so heat and humidity is really going to challenge these players both physically and mentally as well. Late July temperatures could easily reach the high 90s with the heat index over 100 degrees. So it's going to require these golfers and their caddies to prioritize hydration and cooling techniques this week.
Bill, up there, it gets to 80 degrees and everybody's burnt like an English tourist and coming to Disney World or something. And they fall down with heat at 80 degrees. Just imagine 90s in Minnesota.
Well, it's going to be pretty interesting. This week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we start, in the 80s with cloudy, no rain, light winds, into the 9 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday, we bring on temperatures going to 81, sunny, mostly sunny skies, some clouds, no rain. winds 9 miles an hour. Friday brings more sunshine with temperatures going up to 82 with some moderate clouds in the afternoon. No rain. Winds into the 12 to 13 miles an hour. Saturday temperatures are going to go up to 92. Heat index up to 90, 96. Winds
Wow.
still around 90. And then Sunday, Saturday night, there may be some showers after dinner, but they say light chance, 15%.
Well, I
So
certainly
Sun,
hope the players take showers after dinner. They're not going to smell too good on the first seat
Now
Sunday
with all
morning.
that heat, okay, Sunday temperatures are going to peak out at 98 degrees with a heat index of over 100 at mid-afternoon with bright sunshine, maybe a little bit of clouds and winds around 10 miles an hour. This could be a sweat fest, John. Okay, so the greens and the fairways aren't going to be as soft as expected. The balls are going to carry it longer and possibly roll into the thick roughs that have been hydrated all summer long. So I'm predicting these long bombers are going to have the advantage, provided that they can keep the balls out of trouble, out of the rough, and out of any one of these 27 water hazards or 72 deep bunkers. So, it could be a pretty exciting tournament this week, John, and I'm expecting some low scores. I'm saying 20, maybe 25 under par. Let's see what's going to happen. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
with that being said, this is Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report coming to you live remotely from the TPC Twin Cities in Blaine, Minnesota for the 3M Open and from the Backyard Golf Association in Gainesville, Florida. Wild Bill signing out. I got to get back to work and I got to clean up all these damn Post-it notes so I can head out for some good northern eating. Okay. I'm going to get some walleye, some wild rice, legendary juicy burger if you've ever been there, along with some Honeycrisp apples, deep fried curds. And I'm going to chase it down with some homegrown bootleg, which they claim is some refreshing summer cocktail made with a blend of frozen lemonade, limeade, simple syrup, fresh mint. They said usually mixed with vodka, gin, or rum. I just threw in all three. And I'm going to throw an umbrella on it, maybe a splash of club soda. All right. And don't forget your umbrella, John, because I forgot mine on my drink. So woo-hoo, back to you, John.
Well, and there you have it. You've been listening to Mic'd Up on the PGA Tour and the 3M Open, featuring Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report. I'm your host, Mic'd Up PGA broadcaster John Reger. Visit us everywhere online and on social media at Wild Bill Stereau and at JohnRegerPGA. And please remember this, to always carry an umbrella in case it rains. See you next week.
Woohoo.